Good morning. Why can I never think of what day it is? It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. Tomorrow's the last day of school of this week, and that's exciting. So I just have to make it through today and tomorrow, and then I'll be good to go. I have actually a pretty fun weekend planned. Friday, I'm going to be going to like a mall that's local, it's like an outdoor mall. And I really like going there. I'm going there with my grandma it's actually for my birthday, but we just haven't been able to meet. My birthday was like a long time ago, but we're gonna get together for shopping and stuff, and I think my mom's gonna go too. So I have that on Friday, and then Saturday I'm gonna go to my best friend's house, well, like his mom's house, and then it's his birthday coming up, and so we're just gonna hang out for his birthday, and his mom is gonna get Cafe Rio, and if you've never had Cafe Rio, it is the best thing ever, and we always get that for his birthday, so super excited about that. This morning I got up, did my workout, which I'm proud of myself because I got now my 3 days in. Last week I was being really lazy about it, but this week I'm being better. Today's gonna be a really good day because I'm just gonna be in a better mood. Yesterday I don't know, like I never said this in my vlog yesterday, I don't think, but one of my kids, I was just like in a off mood with them. But I think it's like, and I try so hard to not let myself do this, but when I have a lot of kids that are like not listening, it starts putting me in a really bad mood, and then I start getting like really, not like negative, but I like feed off their energy, and then they start feeding off my energy, and then it's just like a downward like hill from there. So and I always tell myself that like you can't let yourself get stressed out about like them not listening. Like you still need to like just be positive, and then like they'll feed off of how you're acting. And I started getting like just super grumpy. So one of my kids though, he's like, Mrs. Brooks, I think you're sick today. And I was like, why do you say that? And he's all, your voice sounds different. And I was like, oh. Like I can just tell that obviously, ew, the flies, that I wasn't in the best mood yesterday. So I'm making it purposeful to be in a good mood and to make sure like I'm putting off a good mood. So I'm pretty excited for today. Actually, we have math this morning, which I'm going to sit here and plan right now. My calendar says we have a staff meeting, but we had a staff meeting yesterday, so I think it's a mistake. I don't think we actually have a staff meeting, but I need to check on that. So I need to plan out my math. I kind of like know what I'm doing. I just need to kind of get it together. And then we're gonna do close reading between recess and lunch, which I'm excited about because my kids really like doing close reading. I really like doing close reading, and it's about the moon, I believe. Yeah, the moon. The whole article is about the moon, so we're gonna do that. And then literacy centers in the afternoon, and I do have a planned period today. I'm so jealous of all the people that have like planned periods every single day. Like, I wish I did. I have one planned period a week, basically. That's promised. And it's 30 minutes. Luckily, mine goes into my recess, so it ended up being like 50 minutes. But by the time I bring them there, by the time I like walk back, it ends up being like 40 minutes, I feel like. So, but yeah, and then I guess, I don't know, maybe it's like a trade-off because we don't have like duty or anything like that. And I guess I think a lot of people actually don't have like a recess time. Like we have a recess that's 20 minutes. 20 minutes? Yeah. 20 minutes, and then we also have a lunch time that's 40 minutes, and that's like lunch and playtime, and neither of those times like I have to watch my kids or anything. But I also feel like that's kind of like my time sometimes. Like I don't really like to have to work through my lunch. I usually spend like 20 minutes eating, and then I'll spend 20 minutes working, but like that's kind of my break to like mentally break. So I don't know. I wish I had more planned periods. Every other week I do have PE, so every other week I get 2 planned periods, but yeah. So anyway, enough ranting about my planned periods. I'm gonna go ahead and get to work for this morning. I want to get a lot done today, and I'm feeling motivated, so I hope everyone has a really good day, but it's gonna be the next day, so I hope your Thursday's a really good day. I will catch up with you guys later. So I totally forgot to eat breakfast at home this morning. Like I was in the car driving, and I was like, I never ate anything. I just didn't even think about it. And even though I had boiled eggs prepped this week, so I was like, oh, that's fine. I have a pumpkin pie Lara bar in my lunch pail that I've kept in there just for like I don't know, just in case. And I just opened it up and there's like mold on it. Like, what the heck? And it's like it's a pumpkin pie one, so I haven't had it for that long. So now I'm hungry and I have no breakfast, so that's fun. It's gonna be a good day though. All right, so it's like almost 6 o'clock. I like just now sat down to vlog. I've kind of been basically on the go since I've actually been sitting for a while, but I've been talking to a friend just about random stuff. So that was nice. I had such a good day today. Oh my goodness. Like, yesterday was such a rough day. And then like, I feel like whenever I have a rough day like that, I always have to just like come back in with my growth mindset and remember it's gonna be fine. And it was such a fun day. Like this morning I ended up doing, I've been reading a lot in my book. It's all about like, what's the word? They give you like, this is super hard to explain, but they give you different ideas of things and then it shows like the growth that that thing will have on students or that it should have. And so for example, like what I did today, so peer tutoring. Peer tutoring, if used correctly, should have a, I'm totally throwing out a random number, but like a 0.80 growth on the scale for students, and 0.4 is like a year of growth. So technically, if you did peer tutoring correct, this is the way I understand it at least, if you did peer tutoring correct and you did it often, then you would see like 2 years of growth with students, and all these other things. But anyway, long story short, so I did peer tutoring with my students this morning because Wednesday when I have music, my math time, I'm gonna spit my gum out. My math time is actually cut like short, so I only have about an hour, and we were just doing review today for our assessment. Oh my gosh, for our assessment that will be for tomorrow. So what I had them do is we did the review page, and then I pulled out 3 games type of things that they could do that reviewed 3 of the skills that are kind of showing up on the test, which is the whole test about place value. So it was evens and odds, place value, like breaking the number up between tens and ones, and then what was the other one? Evens and odds, place value. Oh, 10 more, 10 less. So having them kind of work with 10 more, 10 less. So I told the students that I paired them with another student in the class who struggled maybe with one thing, and then you were pretty good at that thing. So then I paired you with someone that, like, I basically told them, like, you struggled with this, they're good at this. They struggle with this, you're good at this. Help each other. So I had them paired up and then had them complete the sheet together. And then they couldn't leave the other person behind. They had to walk through every single problem with them. Even if they knew how to do it, then they could, like, if they knew how to do it really well, then they could ask their partner, like, hey, how do you solve that problem, and have them explain it. So they walked through that, and then once they were done, they had to go back and pick one of the 3 activity game things to do together, and they were told to pick one that they felt like maybe they were still lacking in, whether that was even or odd, place value, or 10 more, 10 less. So then they had to pick one and practice that game with their partner, and it was so cool. Like, they were all totally like working hard, and it was really nice because I had picked their groups or their partners, so like nobody was just like messing around. Like, everyone was super on task, helping each other, and I made it very, very clear that like you were helping them, you were not giving answers. And so I gave an example of like, hey, Sarah, if I told you 500 divided by 5 was 100, I just told you the answer. You could write that on your paper, but do you know how to do it still? And do you know how to do division? And she was like, the student, if I had said that, would have been like, no. So I said, okay, so that's the point. Like, you don't just give answers. I would walk you through and say, okay, if I had 500, I split it into 100 groups of 100, and I just like walked them through an example just so that they kind of like understood what I was talking about. But yeah, it was so much fun. I really, really enjoyed it. I think the kids enjoyed it. And hopefully I see 2 years of growth. So I think I'm going to try that again next week with like some older topics. And I just feel like the kids like felt really empowered to be that teacher. And I told them like we're all working up towards that level 4 where we can teach someone else, and that's kind of like where you're at right now. So I did pair like most of them. I feel like I paired, it wasn't necessarily like the highest kid with the lowest kid, but I did try and pair like one who was a little bit stronger with one who was maybe a little bit weaker. And I just told them like, hey, you're not good at, well, I didn't actually say that. I just said like, I tried to pair you with someone that like maybe you guys could like help each other and use each other's strengths. So yeah, that's what we did for math today. And then we did the Earth's Moon, which was our close read. Oh my goodness, the kids enjoyed it so much, and I ended up taking it like so much further than it needed to be. Like we learned all about the moon. It was just like knowledge that I had that I taught them, but like they were so into it, and so I just like fed off of that. And like we loved it. So we had a blast with close reading today. Like I literally had my kids on the carpet for a full hour, like in crisscross position, like with a clipboard, and nobody, like they started getting a little antsy at like 50 minutes, but for the most part, like they did so awesome. So did literacy centers, they went great. I got to read with 4 groups, so I felt good about that. My goal is always 4, so if I can read with 4, I achieved my goal. So, all right. I am like trying to prep for, I did prep for conferences. I do have 2 conferences in the morning, one at 8, one at 8:20, I think. I scheduled 20-minute conferences. Bell rings at 8:45, so my last one will get over like right when the bell's gonna ring. So I'm just gonna leave. I want to make copies of all the papers that I'm giving parents so that I still have a copy of them. I'm gonna leave that in my box so I can do that in the morning on my way in. And other than that, I'm gonna go ahead and just like go home because I'm kind of tired. Yeah, I feel like, oh my goodness. Another thing, I'm just looking at this and like thinking about how fun this was, but another thing I had them do was at the end, or like once we were done, I had them take it home, and I always say take it home and be proud of it. And then your job tonight, I said, was to teach one person at home something about the moon. And I was like, go home and ask your parents, say like, hey, does the moon actually light up? And then if their parents like say yes or whatever, then I was like, now you have a teaching point, you can teach them because you're an expert. So the whole point I say with our close reads is like, we're trying to become experts, and we are scientists, and they just, I don't know, it was so much fun. And we had which this one broke, but anyway, we had our evidence sticks that we used, and then we had our, where are they at? I don't have any over here, but our like accountable talk cards, and just like hearing them use their sentence frames, and it was just so much fun. Like I love close reading, especially when I have it like really well planned, and my kids like just totally thrive off close reading. Like they love to do it. When I say we're doing close reading, they're like, yes. It's just like the cutest thing ever. So we really like close reading, and I wish I could do it more often, but it's just, there's no time for anything. So yeah, I don't know. The way I do close reading is we basically pick an article and we set up text dependent questions, leveled questions, usually level 1, level 2, level 3 questions based off the article, and we just like dig deep with it. I let the kids read through it on their own first. I let them productive struggle with it. And then I tell them to read with their hands. So we read with our hands, and I kind of watch basically like my higher readers, I wait until they get to the bottom. And then when I see they get to the bottom, then I kind of stop, and I will tell the class to stop. I read through it completely. And then just so that they can, we number our paragraphs, then I read through it completely. They follow along. We're still just reading with our finger. And then they can figure out any words that maybe they didn't know, or if they didn't finish the article, or they had no clue what the article was about because they weren't reading it very well, then they can kind of at least get that gist. And then we read it a 3rd time, and then that's when we start kind of digging deep into like context clues with vocabulary. We add little annotations to the sides. I'm not very good at that. Sometimes I like totally just use a lot of discussion, and then I forgot to write stuff down, but I mean, it is what it is. And then my team, we have all of our questions. Let me find it so I can show you. This paper, oh my gosh, this is like a mess because I wrote all over other things, but we basically just like plan out the questions that we're going to ask, and then we always end up like, because we have a content objective of like what our kind of goal is with that article, which I didn't even do that today, I just realized. Whoops. We'll take those questions, and then we have a writing piece when we're done, and I usually use, like, today we used this part for the writing, and I just said pretend you're a scientist, and I want you to, like, use the knowledge that you have and just tell me what you learned basically about the moon and, like, what you know about it. And the goal was, like, okay, how did the moon, the sun, and the earth kind of all relate to each other? How do they kind of work together? So yeah, that's how we do close reading. I usually like to pull off of ReadWorks just because they're pretty good articles. And okay, sorry, the janitors totally came in and I was like, hi. So I use ReadWorks. It's easy to pull from. My kids like the articles, so that's how I do close read. If you ever have questions about close read, I would love to answer them because I really, really like to do close reading with my kids. So I'm going to go ahead and head off for the night. I will see you guys early in the morning. I don't know if I'll be able to vlog, or I guess I can vlog like in my car before I come to school, but I do have conferences in the morning, conferences after school, so it's going to be kind of a short vlog for tomorrow and honestly all next week as well because they're all minimum days. So I hope you enjoyed this vlog, and leave any video requests you have down below. Give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram and subscribe to my channel. And I think that's it. So I will see you guys tomorrow.